And today we are live. Good morning, Crypto Warriors. Today is Friday, January 26, 2024, and I am King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10ish.
At 10ish. And for today's top stories, U.S. government's planned 118 million Bitcoin sale is peanuts compared to GBTC. Bitwise Bitcoin ETF wallet attracts inscriptions and rare sats donations. Users report new Trezor phishing email days after support portal breach. And Swan Bitcoin unveils mining arm, eyes public listing within 12 months, and much more. But Bitcoin Zay, what's going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So let's take a look at our prices today, jabronis. Bitcoin is back above 40,000, sitting at 41,418, up 3.7% on the day. Ethereum at $2,252, up 2% on the day. Binance at $302, up 3.2% today. Solana at 91.45 is up 4.3%. XRP at 52 cents is up 2.2%. Cardano at 48 cents is up 3% today. Avalanche at 32.11 is up almost 7% today. And rounding out the top 10 is Dogecoin at 7 cents, up 2% for today. And even though it's not in the top 10, how is Tron still hanging around at 11? I don't know.
What are they, bro? We've been watching Tron here. So about 6 or 7 months ago, Tron was at like 6 cents, man. Like literally every month, bro. Let me show you I don't know how they've been doing either. Tron got a community, man. Look at this.
Oh yeah. It's called the Justin Sun paid me, so we gotta
basically
pump the price.
Yeah, see right here, say June, really before that. I mean, yeah, February of last year, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's creeping. It's doing its creep. Will it return back to 16? We shall see on the next episode of cryptocurrency.
So I creep. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have no idea too, man. We've been watching it. I'm just like, how are they always up there, man? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I always keep an eye on them just because it's an interesting project that they got this far. But some of the trending coins include Manta Network, up 1% today. Altlayer, which is annoying. It keeps going back and forth, down 3.7%. And Satoshi VM, trending for all the wrong reasons, down 48% today. Some of the recently added are Coin Navigator, King Whiff, which is literally, they put a less than sign on. It's less than 0.0000000000001 cent. I mean, it's not even worth posting. Peapod's Finance is at 1037. These are recently added, and the Fear and Greed Index has slipped below 50. So it's not as neutral. It is still neutral, but not as neutral as before. And I think that the Fear and Greed Index right now, it'll probably stay right there in that middle as we continue to go through CHOP. Because most people are still unsure of what's going on today.
Long 90 days before the halving. It's about to be a long 90 days.
Long 90 days.
All right, those are your prices for today. I figure I might try to speak slow or whatever. What it seems like the interesting folks who speak slow on YouTube have the most views. So I'm like, maybe I need to slow down.
No, you turn to Lex Friedman.
You got. Listen, I don't give him a hard time.
That's the most boring, slow-speaking CIA agent I ever heard in my life, man. I don't know how
you already knew it. Listen. I wanted to see who was gonna get it in the comments first. Listen.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna give him a super hard time because I talked about it one time in the show and people was like, no, he a real I guess scientist or astroscientist. Like he's a real smart guy.
Yeah, he's an MIT guy, which is
so I gave him a pass.
CIA. That's what it's called.
It's code for CIA. So I gave him a pass when I found out. But man, like you said, I don't know what it is that I don't know. Like, it's not for me. It's just too dull. The conversation is too. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all?
Oh yeah, I like to turn on Lex Friedman whenever I'm trying to get my daughter to go to sleep. I just turn on the Lex Friedman podcast.
Calming voice, super calming. Shout out to Lex, calming voice, great guest. I don't know. You know me. I feel like I'm one of the best interviewers in the world, so I'm always just like, I don't get it. Like, well, let me give some shout outs first. In the comments, want to say shout out to Tech, Lord Smith, Miriam, Oslin, 64 ECG, Dub Proof, Crypto Night Train, Vanessa Walker, welcome. nerd up. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It must be the it's kind of like you remember the late night shows on radio where
Yeah.
this is
It was one of those. Hey,
yeah.
listen, I try. Listen, I really do try, but I guess I know some people watch our show at like two times speed or whatever. Maybe I just need to watch them at like 1.5, 2 times speed.
You gotta watch
And
them at
it'll be
2.5, boy.
yeah, 2.5. All right. Top story of the day. Zay is the only person who can pick out my impersonations that quickly, man. He caught me off guard. I know he's gonna give me that quick. US government planned 118 million Bitcoin sale is peanuts compared to GBTC. You hear me? The planned sale of over 2,900 Bitcoin is small compared to the outflows from Grayscale's ETF. One market commentator noted. I'm assuming people are bringing this up to solidify some confidence in the market. You know, they're like, hey, we know the sale of GBTC had the market slip. It made the price dip a little bit, but everybody's like, we know the US government one is coming up. Don't worry, folks, this isn't a big deal. That's from the most part what I'm taking from this headline and this first sentence here. But again, the United States government planned sale of nearly $118 million worth of Bitcoin and seized Silk Road Bitcoin should be seen as a cause for concern, according to market commentators. January 10 forfeiture notice, which made rounds on social media on January 24th, shows that the government plans to dispose of the 2,934 Bitcoin following the January 8th sentencing of Silk Road Xanax dealer Ryan Farace and his 72-year-old father, Joseph Farace, for money laundering conspiracy. Oh, they must have killed the wrong kid or something. While a few members of the community share concerns of the auction could lead to a multi-million-dollar dump of Bitcoin, Stephen Lupka, managing director at Bitcoin exchange Swan Bitcoin, which we'll be talking about here in a second, was among many who argue the sale will be peanuts compared to the outflows from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust over the last week. I agree, but it kind of goes back to what I said Monday or Wednesday, where it's like, I agree, it will be peanuts. But how many more peanut moves can the market take before it starts to really lose confidence? And again, it's not about what's true here and about real value. Clearly, because if that were the case, Bitcoin would be just shining like it never has before. It's not about that. It's about the psychological trading and psychological moves people are making. So they feel like they're down and out and things aren't happening fast enough, or things are slowing down, there's a lot of negatives, then they will pull their money and run. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Will this dump, I guess, from the government cause another actual dip? I don't think that would be the reason for the dip, but I will say, like I said a few days ago, any type of slippage is going to be felt a lot harder than what we felt the last year. I think any type of bad news, we'll start seeing more and more like deeper dips every time. Not to say it's going to stay down, but I think any type of news like this is going to start to make us dip a little bit. Will it be a big dump? Nah, not really, because like they said, the Grayscale Bitcoin won't happen and it survived from that one. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh yeah. So for those of you who want some free alpha, anytime you have a family member or a friend who's saying, "Well, what if the U.S. government they'll just take your Bitcoin and they'll just confiscate it and do whatever they want with it," show them this article and show them that even if they take it, they're just going to turn it back around and sell it because they still want the cash, which is hilarious. Because why would you sell Bitcoin for cash when you just print it? I mean, you could just print the money. You could have printed $118 million yesterday. Nobody would have even noticed. But they're selling it simply because I think they just want to get it back into the market, back in circulation. And it is peanuts. I mean, 118 million at this point is a medium level crypto project. Like it's not even really anything to sniff at. However, the constant selling, like you said, is something that may alarm people. So let's take a look at some of the 3 seizures it's made. If you also want to know how much Bitcoin the US has, they've planned to sell also just 1.5% of the total estimated 194,188 Bitcoin, or 7.7 billion. See, now we're getting up there. They hold this from 3 seizures, according to data from cryptofarm21.co. It's still in total less than 1% of Bitcoin's circulating supply. So 3 biggest hauls, 94,643 seized in January 22 from the Bitfinex hack, which we covered extensively. 69,369 Bitcoin seized November 2020 from Silk Road, and then 326 seized from Silk Road hacker James Zong. And let's see, thinking about this in a way, like you said before, that it could be, panic selling. People could get scared. At the end of the day, man, Bitcoin, US is one of the biggest Bitcoin holders in the world. We support Bitcoin. This is what we do. So you shouldn't really worry too much about the US getting rid of Bitcoin and doing something. And as King puts on his tinfoil hat and I have on my tinfoil toboggan, I can almost guarantee that they're keeping this Bitcoin. Why? Because game theory. We keep telling you all game theory. Russia has Bitcoin.
Just in case.
China has Bitcoin. Just in case we need to pay off somebody to do something for us. The 7.7 billion doesn't affect our budget much, but it can help some individuals get some projects done. Maybe sell it, on the open market to trap some people. You never know what they'll do. So it is what it is. But the U.S. is one of the biggest Bitcoin holders in the world. So next time somebody asks, show them that article and be like, hey, the U.S. apparently loves Bitcoin because they're still holding on to it.
As I sip this Voodoo Ranger, I'm not trying to give him a shout out or anything, but this Juicy Haze IPA is a great way to start the morning today, by the way. One of these bad boys will have you floating through the morning. But
they call me Juicy Zay.
There we go. IPA. Oh, you mess with that? I remember you messed with the haze. You messed with the Juicy Hazes?
Yeah,
there we go. All right, I can't call you.
Call me Juicy Zay.
I'll call you Jay Zay on that one then. But no, so tinfoil toboggan, you all saw. I just put it on. This is talking about how much Bitcoin the government owns from 3 seizures it made in what it calls criminal cases. Tinfoil toboggan. Is it really? I mean, hold on. Is it really beyond the United States government to do some dirty, grimy, corrupt shit with a straight face like nothing happened? What do you mean, King? What I mean is, what if it were the United States that actually did this to begin with? You remember they keep blaming North Korea. Why? Because literally, when I say literally, I mean this. I'm not just Californian is literally out. I mean, literally, I won't say no, but there's a very small, rare, nominal amount of Americans who would question or do anything with North Korea after the United States already said it's a big fucking no-go. All right, we already had one person. He thought he can give a speech and get away with it. They was like, no, sir, you're going to prison. Unless you're talking basketball, you can't do nothing with North Korea, all right? And I say that to say, all the U.S. has been doing the last few years, just North Korea happened. North Korea again. I don't know, guys, North Korea. You're telling me, as a community, as a nation, we don't think our own government is behind nothing nefarious? It would be the first time in history if that were actually true. So going on my tinfoil toboggan, what if it's the actual United States government or its proxies doing the hacks, doing the Bitfinex hack?
Silk Road. The FBI agent is the one who got arrested too.
Crashing out Silk Road. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, this could have already been a honeypot from the jump with the U.S. to say, hey, not only are we going to hack, because listen, if the United States, let's say this did come out public and it was like, news is breaking today. We found out the United States hacks Bitfinex. Did the United States or anybody in the United States technically do anything illegal? Unregulated market, it's been in the gray area, is not a United States company. It's not a U.S.-based company. Did they do anything wrong, or did they practice what were they saying to the Native Americans when they were just
manifest destiny?
Boom, were they practicing manifest destiny? That's my question. So seriously, it's just like, how do we know who actually had Bitfinex, right? How do we know the government didn't have anything to do with it, and now they got all the Bitcoin from it? And yeah, we're not going to resell it all back, but we give you a little sprinkle just in case this ever hit the news. We can say, well, we sold it back to the public, at least a little bit of it. But that's my tinfoil toboggan theory on the day. The United States might be behind some of the biggest hacks in crypto history, which is how they got all their crypto up. And now they're selling nominal amounts back to wealthy people in the public to have a chance to get it and say everything was democratic. It was a process. Everything was fair. That's my tinfoil toboggan. Somebody said, what wallet they use? Great question.
They probably use the command line, honestly, because it's the command line. I mean, if they use Bitcoin.org, like a old full client wallet, I can see that. I don't think they use any of the Bitcoin wallets we use. I'm pretty sure they don't have an app.
Right. Somebody said, don't all wallets. JB said, don't all asset seized and crimes have to be auctioned. I'm not going to act like I know that. I thought so.
I thought so. I thought the U.S. Marshals were supposed to auction off. Because, I mean, I remember when Tim Draper first got, like, I forget how many. I think it's in the story, like 40,000 something Bitcoin. 30,000. Yeah, nearly 30,000 Bitcoin in an auction back in 2014. I remember that auction. That was like a huge deal back in 2014. So yeah, technically I think they are, but I don't know the time limits on that. They could say, yeah, we got to auction it off, but we got 99 years. Like they,
Right.
I gotta check out the laws on that because they could, you know what I mean? They can stretch it out as long as they can or as long as they want. And you got to remember, they can push something out longer than you can stay solvent. Trust me, they can. They'll change regimes 4 or 5
I was
times.
gonna let you
Great,
finish, but
great
yep.
grandkids will have to be fighting this battle, so they got way more time than that.
Yeah, you know how it goes. All right, that's what's going on. US said, hey, if you want some crypto, we selling it. Shouldn't really affect the market. Might get a little slippage, but like I said, if anything, it's not going to be that event. It's just going to be the accumulation of events that make people just kind of wear out in the market. We'll see though.
Yeah.
Speaking of Swan, we just talked about them. Swan Bitcoin unveils mining arm, eyes public listing within 12 months. I mean, at this point, I think that's gonna be this is 1998, 99. Like all these companies are like, listen, the big one's about to happen, the next big happening, the bubble's about to come. Let's get this money while we can. Sell the bags. I think everybody's gonna try to go public who can go public, but
Yeah.
Swan's Bitcoin's newly unveiled mining arm has already mined 750 Bitcoin since launching in summer 2023 with a current hash rate of 4.5 x hashes per second. Bitcoin's you're pretty close to Swan. What's going on with these guys and their mining arm?
Oh yeah, so this is something that I figured was happening anyway. The CEO of Swan, Corey Clipston, who you all know, he's actually on the board for Riot, which is a mining company as well, and he actually is an advisor or on the board for I think like a few companies that do mining. So I believe this was coming to Swan at some point anyway, and I knew for a fact they were trying to be a publicly traded company. Just the way they went about doing things and the way they went about doing business with the regulations and getting all of the the different thing, the paying for the different licenses and all that. I was like, yeah, they're basically trying to become a anti Coinbase, but still, become publicly traded. So Swan Mining, they launched and operated in stealth mode. They've already mined 750 Bitcoin from its current hash rate. The firm expects the hash rate to exceed 8 x hashes when it deploys new mining equipment in March. So very good start there. I believe I was on Twitter. I believe they have the highest hash rate in the quickest amount of time. So shout out to them for that. But again, this is all part of the plan. That Swan, they basically have touched every area of Bitcoin that they can. They got a lot of big money people behind them. And as it says here, the firm said it intends to split its next Series C funding equally among its financial services, mining, and acquisitions ventures. So shout out to Corey. He's a hardworking man. He was successful before Bitcoin came out. And when we first had our first conversation back in 2017, I think, that was basically what he was saying. He was like, man, I've already became a millionaire in the traditional markets, working out of Chicago, and so he knows the finance side of it. From the technical standpoint, he basically hired the best technical people in Bitcoin, like some of the best that you can get, which is smart. Put that together, you got a company that's going publicly traded in the next 12 months. So shout out to them. I know they've had their issues. Some people have had problems, but that's every company. You're not going to be a big company unless there's some sort of issues, whether online or in person or real. It is what it is. So shout out to them. A lot of hardworking people over there. I think their publicly traded company is going to be better than Coinbase because it's not a pump and dump. Like
I agree.
these are real Bitcoiners who are trying to stick around long term. Whereas Coinbase is like, we're a crypto bank trying to capitalize off of, early stuff. So shout out to Swan.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think their slow build up, doing it the right way will make him a more attractive IPO, or at least a publicly traded company in general. So that's pretty cool to see. But yeah, I know I like what they're doing. I like to see that so many companies are heading in this direction in general, kind of because that's really bridging the gap between traditional finance and what's here now as far as the crypto and Bitcoin and everything. So it should be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Stock Moolah 2K5 said, with us being in the third year of the fourth year cycle and having its April, will Bitcoin dip more? I don't know.
Yeah.
You're saying third or the fourth?
Yeah.
At the end of the cycle.
Yeah.
If anything, like I said, I think off of these news events, it might dip, but I do think it's going to be a gradual buildup after the happening. Like as soon as the happening happens, the next few months of that, going into next year, we'll see what new NFT CO DeFi we get, whatever we get next is going to cause it to go parabolic. Somebody's going to come up with something new.
It's
Like
probably gonna be
somebody's
it's probably gonna be the ETF, and it's probably gonna be ordinals that lead the way as far as Bitcoin goes. And then somebody's gonna come up with something. You're right. It always
I was about to
happens.
say, hey, somebody coming up with something, man.
Yeah,
It's been happening every
last
4
year,
years.
last year this time I went to Naples for Bitcoin Day, right? Naples, Florida. I did a presentation about kids getting Bitcoin, right? And I said at some point we'll have NFTs on Bitcoin. 2 weeks later, ordinals came out. That's what I'm saying. Like, I did a whole presentation and somebody asked a question like, well, if kids want to interact with NFTs and they want to use it at your summer camp, will it be available on Bitcoin? And I was like, yeah, it will be at some point. Somebody's going to discover, figure it out, and then blah, blah. And then boom, 2 weeks later it came. So that's what I'm saying. Like, most of the time you can talk about things that's happening in the future because you know that if you're building a stack, this is something that's coming. So I'm sure somebody will have some little fancy way of describing something that we already do.
There it is. All right. Users report new Trezor phishing emails days after support portal breach. What's going on with Trezor in this portal breach? We were just literally talking about this the other day as well, weren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were discussing solutions for the most secure way to keep Bitcoin. Trezor, you threw it in there, and I know I've recommended it back in the day, but they've had too many issues over the past year or
They're
two.
starting to slip.
They're
Somebody
starting
was
to
saying that
slip,
in the
man.
comments too that day.
Yeah, and somebody was saying it because they've seen it. I haven't used my Trezor. The funds that I had on Trezor from like 3 years ago, I've already moved it. But yeah, user report, new Trezor phishing emails, and I believe these come like once a month. Like, you got to be very vigilant with them because overall, most people don't check the email and look to see if it's the right thing. They just kind of click on it and go. So as it says here, Trezor, we've detected an unauthorized email impersonating Trezor sent from a third-party email provider we use. If you received a suspicious email with the subject line "assets undergoing upgrade" from no reply at Trezor.io, please do not click any links. And for people that aren't like technical, that looks real. Like, Trezor.io, dear customer, this is to let you know your wallet assets are doing. Some people are like, oh, okay, cool. Disable. This is going to be disabled for a little bit. Cool. Let me click on it and upgrade. And then boom, you wake up the next day and your whole stack is gone. So be careful out in these streets, people. Don't open the door for Jehovah's Witnesses.
Hilarious. I mean, people, by and large, there isn't any crypto company out there that's telling you to click on links for stuff. By and large, most of them will redirect you and say, hey, go. They'll tell you, go back to your account. They'll give you the directions, go do this, that, and the other. But by and large, most of them, like throughout the years, so I'm thinking like most of them don't really send you emails with links. They already know this is like something that can be socially engineered. So it does suck that this is happening, especially this one. They even got all the upper and lowercase. Oh, nope. I saw where they made the first mistake. People, you got to remember, these folks, I don't know if they're using AI or it's just a third grade education that majority of them have that's out here scamming and hustling from overseas. But usually there's an uppercase, lowercase letters mistake. But I just that quick saw the first mistake. Dear customer, period.
Yeah.
People, that period, I'm telling you, stuff that's that simple. Where you're like, well, the period is right next to the comma. All right, how many times have you sent the email and put period instead of comma? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't happen. It just doesn't
Especially
happen.
a business, a booming business, $1 million business.
Bro.
Like, come on.
I out of all the emails I sent throughout my life to this day, I don't think I've ever put a period by mistake. Even if I fat finger it, your brain automatically deletes it and put the comma. I don't think I've ever put the period. So it's stuff like that where it seems innocent enough, but it's like no. That to me is the same as having a lowercase I as an I in that sentence. People, that's another scam. They always got lowercase I's everywhere. I don't know what it is in them uppercase and letters, but yeah. So I mean, it sucks. This was a very difficult one to tell. Undergoing. I don't know. They don't really say undergoing either. We're currently I don't know. You just don't see undergoing. It's just that was weird to me too. So this is like it's small, very small things where it's just like it's tough to see, but by and large, just don't click on links. And then the other thing is if you do have to click on links or they are saying like if you're ever getting alerted that you're about to get hacked or something's going wrong or any of that, like usually 9 times out of 10 is already too late. Like
I was gonna say, pack it up.
The alert is the news being like something just happened, you just missed it for whatever reason. So that's my other thing. Whenever you're getting an alert, they're like, hey, this just happened, change these passwords, do that. Always take a deep breath. Deep breath. We're going to talk in our Lex Freeman voice, and we're not going to make any immediate actions. We're going to reread the email. We're going to go to X and check out some information on their homepage. We're going to go to their website. But seriously, we're going to do our own homework and research for 5 minutes. All it takes is literally 5 or 6 minutes here, folks, before we click on that link blindly. Again, I know if it catches you off guard, it's 4 a.m, you see an email, and you're just like, wait, what's happening? You click it. You're not thinking right. It can happen like that. But again, whenever you see anything in crypto that's trying, because that's the social engineering part. Hurry up, you got to do this right now. Oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, hurry. This is that's the crypto social engineering. Whenever that's happening in Bitcoin and crypto, if it is that bad, then take the law. Hey, whatever. I'm not about to make no moves right now. I'm about to figure this out first. Take that 5-minute loss if you need to and figure it out before your whole portfolio is gone.
Oh yeah, calm your ass down. Basically, you
Right.
be all right.
That helps. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, bro. You do not want to get scammed by some 16-year-old in Indonesia in the back of a Burger King, basically putting out all this terrible grammar. That's the worst. And somebody DM Carr, shout out to him. He said it also says undergoing a upgrade when it's supposed to be an upgrade. See, simple stuff like that can save you a whole world of trouble. Just having good control of the English language. That's all it needs.
Yeah. See, I couldn't. Okay, I guess that's what it was. I kept looking at undergo, and I was like, I don't know what it is, but something just in that area
Yeah.
didn't make sense. I guess it was the A and N. Exactly though.
Oh yeah.
Humney said the Nigerians are losing their touch with their ways. Hilarious. And Cario, what's going on? Uncle Reno said, I got it right that second time. You heard how quick I switched into it. And if they use a halfway decent email composer, that will be auto-corrected. That's how you know they so janky. Exactly.
Can't even use Chat GPT. Dang, they using Chat GPT 1.0. We have 4 at this point.
Oh, true beliefs. Find them and put them on live. Said, I'm by union in front of the SEC now trying to find Gary. Go knock down some doors, man. He a public position. You should be able to talk to him.
Oh yeah, you know Mr. Burns up in there.
Yeah, for real, for real.
What if you accidentally? What would you do, King, if you accidentally walked in the bathroom, or you walked in the bathroom and you bumped into Gary Gensler in the bathroom?
Oh, listen, I'm gonna do the same thing I did with Suge Knight when I met him. Hey, regardless of what mood you're in, how you feeling, this got to happen right now. We gotta have a conversation, a picture, something. Gary getting listen, what full court press? Are you kidding me? I'm gonna be super polite and professional, but I'm gonna be like, look, seriously, a hand on the door and a hand on the bathroom door and everything. Seriously, man, come on. I'm just like this, smiling. You really can't leave until we talk, man. I'm gonna put you on live real quick. Put you on live. I'll let you leave in a second, bro. Hey, don't touch me, bro. Don't touch me. Just talk about this. Oh, you going on live right now? We about to. Hey, yeah, I'm with Gary Gensler, aka Mr. Burns. What's up, baby?
Burns getting aggressive.
Listen, hey, yeah. Why you don't like Bitcoin, man? Tell us why you don't like crypto. What's wrong? What it do to you? Where it touch you at? No, seriously. I would have to give them the full court professional press. Okay, I'm gonna keep it professional, but I would have to have the conversation. Gary, where did Bitcoin touch? You're really going to run from conversation. You're going to run from conversation. This is a grown man. Everybody run from conversation. Y'all nominated him to be y'all SEC. Don't get me started, Zay. I'm going crazy if I'm in the bathroom. The same way I did that when I walked by that FINRA. What happened when I walked by FINRA? I had to. Oh
yeah, that was funny. We got to find that video when we pressed FINRA back in the day at that conference, and they was like, you know, like, so yeah, we're just gonna regulate it. Whatever comes out, we're gonna regulate it, and then yeah, and if you do something else, we're gonna regulate that too. We was pressing their ass, and they was running. Me, like I said, I'll be laughing. I'll be like, damn, you ugly as shit, boy.
What would you say if you saw Gary in the bathroom as well?
If I saw, yeah, I would just start clowning him. You know how I am. I'd be like, boy, you ugly as shit. And your wife ugly. I mean,
no, I need answers, man. I'm going in for. I need answers, Gary. I need.
Well, I already know the answers. He got a puppet hand up his ass, and it's talking for him. So I don't even need answers from him. Where your boss at? I want to talk to the boss. It's like if a woman gets mad at you, and you be like, going back and nah. Where your boyfriend at? I mean, because he should have your ass in check. Where your husband at? Let me go talk to him. Like them two girls that like them 2 girls at Chaconi's, remember?
I still think about when people always say what, like, oh, they want to do that. I'm like, you don't know the evil that exists in this world, people.
You don't really know us.
Listen,
put it like that.
If you make grown adults mad, they will just invent lies overnight, people. It's real. All right. Bitwise Bitcoin ETF wallet attracts inscriptions and rare Sats donations. Go ahead and take this away. You're just talking about the kids camp. You're saying, hey, Orino's on Bitcoin 2 weeks after. What's going on with this Bitwise Bitcoin ETF wallet itself here?
Oh yeah, so this is actually kind of hilarious news because for the first time ever, we have a Bitcoin ETF with full transparency. They posted their Bitcoin address. You can see how much Bitcoin is there, and of course, Bitcoin is being hilarious. they just start sending Bitcoin to the address in the form of inscriptions and rare sats, basically donations. So when they share their public address, they honestly over collateralize Bitwise, because on the balance sheet they have to show how much Bitcoin they have versus how much inflows they're taking for ETFs. And it's funny because now people are just sending them money, which is hilarious. I mean, it's the most hilarious thing. The people that don't need the money, they get all these free donations. And
don't that always happen?
It always happens. So they became one of the first 10 spot Bitcoin ETF issuers to do so, and they received multiple tips and donations within an hour or within hours of being public, including some ordinals and rare sats. So they currently hold inscription donations worth 6,083 and holds over a total of 16,000 inscriptions. So some of them are RSIC airdrops, Bitcoin Punk, Bitcoin Burials, Squad Key. If you're following BRC20 inscriptions, or if you're following ordinals, these projects will look very familiar to you. But yeah, some people are just sending them free stuff because it just as a thank you or as a donation, which is hilarious because some people, the amounts they're putting, how they meme like 420 and 69. Some people are sending like 420, 69, like 42,069 sats. Like it's hilarious. But I do want to point out that their transparency sets a precedent. And we talked about this. Shout out to Assets and Arbitrage. We talked about this yesterday. They actually are setting a precedent where people are going to start questioning other ETFs. Like, hey, I know what you put on that piece of paper, and I know exactly, what you're telling me I got. But this company actually has full transparency on the blockchain that I can go view at any point. I can just copy and paste the address, and I can see, okay, well, if they got 11,000 Bitcoin worth of ETF inflows, and they have 11,000 Bitcoins in their wallet, I can trust them. What's going on with you guys? So you already know there's going to be some laws changes so they can do fractional reserves.
Listen, hey, this is why I cut
with paper Bitcoin. There's going to be a lot of paper Bitcoin out there. I can tell you that.
As I put back on this tinfoil toboggan, I don't know who it was on Wednesday. That was the first time I ever seen their name. Was it you had one of your girls on here? You had your girlfriend here. First time I ever seen the name. The only thing they said was, "Hey, don't be cutting off Bitcoins." Okay. Well, goddamn, never even see motherfucker walk to the party for the first time. Said that's my homie and walked off. I was okay, brother, sister, whoever that was.
I don't even know who that was.
They standing 10 toes down for you and me interrupting you, Zay. But this is why I do interrupt them, people, because he be having my thoughts. I be wanting to get the words out, and he get them out first. I was going to say the exact same thing about this. So Bitwise ETF. First of all, they could be actually like fucking themselves by putting that public with the law thing. I agree totally with you. The new laws are coming. Like new laws are coming.
Yeah, they're coming. They already sitting in the drafts right now.
Come on, new laws are coming right now. A, B, these people might actually fuck the likes of Bitwise early on from the donations. You have to remember on the traditional side, there are strict ways of receiving and giving and doing anything with capital. $6,000, let me remind you all, to a normal human in America, the average person, a lot of money. To the government, a lot of money. So, I mean, let's not get crazy. Not like a lot to they're starting an army, but it is a lot to like, oh, you missed 6,000 on your taxes. They're going to holler at you, right? So my thing is them giving this company $6,000 may actually shoot them in the foot because now they have to account for it. Now they have to know who donated, how it was donated, X, Y, and Z. And I guarantee you they don't have an SOP, standard operating procedure on how to do that. So already they're technically in trouble with the government. The government really willing to press down and be like, oh, where did this 6,000 come from? Are these customers, clients? How is the government, with the way the laws are written now, they could press down and be like, oh, Bitwise, y'all out of there.
Yeah.
You 6 months suspicion.
It's not enough money.
It's not enough money.
If it was 6 million, then you'd be talking.
Honestly, if it was 60,000, I think 60,000 would have been enough to be like, shut them down for at least 3-4 weeks.
Shut it down.
I'm not looking at the right or wrong or legality as much as I'm looking at the competition.
Yeah.
BlackRock is going to be like, hey, we didn't put our address down. How much money could we have gotten? Get rid, like that's not fair. So that's my first thing, is like that type of stuff would kind of already jack up the company. Like you said, I don't even know why they're doing. I mean, I do know why they're doing. The good news is like, or the good feeling is that, hey, we're going to show the rest of the ETFs out here, this is the way you do it. And we show it by voting with our wallet. So boom, that's the positive of it. But like you said, negative is like, yo, they just launched an ETF. They don't, not only do they not need your money, while you're trying to pick the lesser of evils, it's still an evil. They're still going to be like, oh, cool, the Bitcoin people love us, and we make everything public. Now you can publicly see how much cash we have on hand and how that one Bitcoin backs up 30 million Bitcoin ETFs. It's not going to change shit. We're just going to show you how we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the tinfoil toboggan is what you said as well. At the end of all this, laws, legislation, power moves are coming down the pike. We can expect it. Everything's about to change here in the next 3 to 4 months again. I wouldn't be surprised if literally the week before, I'll say 3 weeks, the week before, the week of, or the week after the happening, I wouldn't be surprised if we see curveball legislation come out of nowhere. It was like, oh, we weren't even talking about this before. It's like, yeah, well, we are now, bitch. That quick. My bad. Hey, LB crypto. Yeah, I had to correct myself. He said, hold on. One of your girlfriends is. I corrected him. I corrected it. I was playing. Let's see. Bitcoin Shango. I'm actually waiting to hear it called a terrorist extremist, black MAGA, whatever insults and news and talking heads tossing me for even having the Bitcoin dust I do have. Oh, you already know it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's already started a little bit. They already started demonizing Bitcoin holders and people that want to have self-custody. You already know.
Yep. Other than that, for the most part, that is a show for today. It wasn't too much news. We know we have a pretty shorter show today. You got any news, Bitcoin Zay?
Nah, nothing for me. News is trash. Go Lake Show. Let's go ahead and trade Darvin Ham. Tell this nigga to take his hands out his pockets so we can get this championship.
Listen, man. Hey, shout out to Bron. All right, shout out to Bron.
20 years.
The Lakers been different ever since he came. I'm just gonna say that, man. This is just a different energy and vibe, whatever. Shout out to the Lions. That's what we need to talk about. The Lions. Feet don't fail me now. Let's see if we can make this happen. We shall see. And of course, tonight, people, 7 p.m. tonight. So 7 p.m. Pacific time. That is West Coast time, 10 p.m. Eastern. I am going to try to show BitCon in the Discord. So I'm pretty sure I can screen share and all that good stuff. But the game plan is to actually show that in the Discord tonight. So again, 7 p.m. tonight, I'll be watching BitCon. Join us in the Discord as well. Smash that like and share. Other than that, we will see you all next week with some more news. Go Lions.